Good morning. Give you a council update from our meeting Monday, November 24th. Again, we started with 4 delegations. The first one came from Cynthia Farrow and Iva Woodward, came to just update us on an award that their group had actually received. Jocelyn Edwards is also involved in this. From the Alberta Parks and Recreation Association. And this has to do with the Communities Choose Well Building Community Capacity Award. What these girls did was just all the healthy eating initiatives, and I'm trying to read it all here because there's so much, but healthy eating, active living, social well-being, all of the programs that these 3 ladies put together for the town of High River. They received an award for doing it, an Alberta award, so congratulations to them. I know I'm not explaining it 100% correctly, but everybody knows who you are, and everything that you do is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for that, and congratulations on the award. Heritage Inventory Project. This was a report done by Community Design Strategies. They looked at a certain section of High River, which was the southwest. They will be doing the other portions of High River in the next few years here. But they narrowed it down and identified 20 properties that are not designated, but they've been pointed out as being heritage properties in High River. The process now is to work with the owners, and the owners have the option of whether they want to designate their property as a heritage property. There are advantages to it, to the point where a homeowner, if you are municipally designated, there's $50,000 per year from the provincial government, and if you are provincially designated as a heritage property, there's $75,000 per year for upkeep costs to those properties. It's really important that we do these kinds of things in High River, because when I look back at buildings that we've lost in the past for a number of reasons, whatever, the number one that I always remember is the old Lane Block building. Now that had to come down because of a fire, but you can't imagine how cool that would have been if that was still in downtown High River. So the point that I'm trying to make is we have to do everything we possibly can to retain these buildings, and because it does identify your community, and it's just a really cool thing to continue on with that. So from there we had a presentation from Alberta Health Services. Kathy McPhee and another lady were there just to present the results of the 2014 door-to-door outreach campaign, which was a small snapshot of, I think it handled 27% of the homes in High River. 5,500 homes in High River. I think they got to about 1,700 of them or so. And, lots of questions. And what came out of it were a number of different things, and the whole report is available in the council agenda. And, but what I got out of it and looking at it is that the social needs, the psychosocial needs of this community are at an all-time high, of course, because of what we've been through. I don't think that's astonishing to anybody, but it's not going away anytime soon. And it's something that we have to continue our programs aggressively, making sure that these programs are funded from the provincial government, and making sure we have staff on the ground to deal with all these things. And that's everything from the FCSS group, the Hearts and Mind group that's doing an unbelievable job. Both of those are doing an unbelievable job in High River. And all of the NGOs that are involved in trying to get our community back healthy again. A lot of these issues, of course, they always exist. They existed before the flood. They exist in every community. But you have to do as much as you possibly can to give these people the resources that they need. So it was an interesting presentation, and it's one that we have to and will continue to pay a great deal of attention to. So the fourth delegation was from the BTAC committee, Business and Tourism Advisory Committee. Carol Lyle, who's the chair of that committee, just came and presented a document. A few months ago, I challenged BTAC because I'd sat on that committee before, but I challenged them now that everybody's got to step up and get real active with where we're going. What they came back with kind of blew my mind, because these guys are active and they've got an excellent committee now, and a very strong committee that's getting aggressive with what they want to see and with where they want to go. So a couple of us, Councillor Blackland and I, who have both sat on that committee before, we're very, very happy to see what Carol brought to us. So thank you very, very much, Carol, for that. A couple of housekeeping things. Adoption of the minutes of the last meeting, that was taken care of. Then we went into some financial reports, and there was financial statement highlights. There's an actual versus the budget financial report. That all looks good. We also had the town auditors. They came and presented a couple of things. We delayed making the motions until the next council meeting, because they brought up a couple of items where we need to move some money around correctly, but I don't like it when things are, and it's no fault of anybody, it's just the speed that everything's happening, but it was dropped on my desk just a few minutes before the council meeting started, so I just said, it doesn't have to be decided today, so council can have a couple of weeks of looking at this and making sure that everybody understands exactly what's happening. The finances of the town of High River are good, but they're not great in any way, shape, or form. So I just want to make sure that we are transparent with the public and we're not doing things too quick in council meetings when it comes to finances, because it's extremely sensitive for all of us. So you'll see that on the next agenda, and it's the money thing that I'm talking about is really just a housekeeping item as to where money is allocated in your financial statement. So it's a minor thing, but it's important to us that everything's out in the open and clear to everybody. A couple of bylaws, or one bylaw, which is the Downtown Area Redevelopment Plan. Andrew and Douglas Olson came from O2 Planning and Design, who everybody knows about. They've done all this, the ARP stuff for downtown High River, and so they did a full presentation, and council came back and asked, questions that everybody's been asking about, and but this was just first reading for the bylaw to adopt that area redevelopment plan, and there's been a lot of discussion on Facebook, and I try to encourage that on Facebook. I quite enjoy it because it needs to be an open discussion with this community because of the state of the changes that are going on downtown High River. I've learned a lot about this stuff, and I've researched a lot about it as to what's happening in other communities in North America that are thriving. And honestly, this is what they're doing. They're not putting things back the same way they were. They're promoting walkability in your downtown core, and which promotes retail, which promotes professional businesses. It promotes everything if you give people a place that they're comfortable to be in. We did not have that in downtown High River. I've said it 1,000 times that we have to be better than this. And we're going to do it. And this is the direction that we're headed in. We've chosen this direction. We're very strong on this direction, and we are going to continue on in this direction. So, new business was the High River Home of Heartland. The Home of Heartland slogan is not the Town of High River brand. It is just something that we capitalize on because Heartland has been filming in this town for a few years. It's an extremely popular show in Canada, North America, and the world. They have approximately 1 million viewers per episode now, and High River is a big part of that. we have to leverage that as to what we can do with it. So the town of High River, the motion that we did the other day was just to renew the licensing agreement with Heartland to promote the slogan of High River, home of Heartland. And that allows us to have t-shirts. I think there's belt buckles, there's hats, there's a number of different things that you can purchase in local businesses. It kind of got railroaded a little bit last year because of the flood and everything was busy and the businesses were all over trying to get their businesses back up and running. But now that a lot of that has subsided, I think prior to the flood there was 4 businesses that had this merchandise for sale, and Dana Dickens listed off the list of people that are businesses that are going to be carrying this stuff, and it's I think about 10 or 12 businesses in town that are going to be carrying this stuff. So the last piece of the council meeting was discussed in camera, and it had to do with wages with the fire department. And we came out of in camera, so I want to talk about it and make sure everybody knows what we're doing. But it was just increases with the fire department to keep us in line with everybody else and make sure that High River's competitive in that environment. So we just made the motions when we came out of in camera into the public section, and those are all available in the agenda minutes anyway. So that's about it. There's lots going on, and I'll speak just briefly about 4th Avenue downtown. It looks like they're just doing the final touches on getting traffic flow going on there so that there's better access to the businesses and the doctor's office, etc. And I think that should be open by the end of the week or first of next week. The sidewalks, of course, won't be 100% completed this year, but we will get that done in the spring. And but there is access to everything. They've laid little pieces of pavement and everything around just to make sure we've got access and safety for everybody throughout the winter. So we'll tighten it up in the spring like with everything else down there. So it was an aggressive timeline that we had, and a few delays here and there. So whatever it is, what it is, and we'll get it taken care of next spring. But you will have access down there throughout the winter. So any comments, questions, you know how to get a hold of all of your councillors. That's about it for today. Thank you very much.